Sam was a great instructor. He was very knowledgeable and helpful, and he was able to break down a lot of the hard concepts into easily digestible material.
I thought Sam was really great. He really knew his material, and he cared about the students knowing it as well. He was really passionate about what he taught.
Well, it was a great all-around experience. His expert knowledge of chemistry, coupled with his experience taking the exam and his experience as being a teacher, made the curriculum more personalized for me, and so I can actually apply what I'm learning to my actual life and how I'm going to do the same thing.
I felt like Sam was very relatable as an instructor. He's only a few years older than us, so he doesn't have to relate to us, and just to kind of understand where we are and what we're about to go through was very helpful. I like that he was willing to go the extra mile for us and take the extra time to answer any questions that we had. If he wasn't able to answer anything, he made it a point to go and find the answer and then bring it to us the following day. So I really feel like that was nice. And he was just really generous with the advice and guidance as well. So I really did appreciate that as well.
He was very knowledgeable of the extensive material, so that was really great because when we went over it, you could tell he knew what he was talking about until he would reach a point where he didn't really know how to explain what he was talking about, but he would come back to it. He would put it in the loose end section of our Google Doc and make sure we covered it, or he explained it later on until he gained further or better understanding of whatever needed to be explained. So that was great.
I would describe Sam as kind of like one of my high school teachers who was like always energetic and everything, but it's a good way for me to learn because I hate when teachers are just reading off slides and everything like that.
It was awesome. He was a great instructor. I felt he was very thorough in his work, very passionate about his job, and I got a lot out of the program.
Sam was phenomenal. He's a lot of fun. He knows the material, very down to earth, very compassionate with the students, and I thoroughly enjoyed this boot camp.
It was great. It was great. He is great. He's very understanding. I came late, and he kind of made me feel welcome. And really put me in pretty quickly. And so, yeah, he was great. That's the word I'll give him, understanding.
It was great having Sam as an instructor. He was a good guy, very knowledgeable of the MCAT and chemistry.
It was really nice having Sam as an instructor. He was pretty detail oriented. He was pretty good at explaining different things. He was really relatable. That was one thing that I got from him. He would relate to the students pretty well. So that was a beneficial aspect of it. And the way he communicated information was pretty good.
He was a very informative instructor. I really enjoyed him.
My opinion of him, if that's what it's truly asking, is nothing but positive. I really liked him.
Sam's strengths were definitely his knowledge base and his ability to read when people didn't fully understand the subject.
Some of the strengths are that he knew the concepts, and he could put it in easier terms to understand for us, so we retain the information just as well.
As an instructor, his greatest strength was his ability to answer the questions and tie up loose ends. I think that was very effective, and every teacher should do that.
As a strength, like I said, he was willing to go the extra mile for us throughout the entire week. He was always there to answer our questions and to kind of give us like some guidance to what we should be expecting, kind of helping us to learn some strategies on how to prepare for the test.
One of his strengths was, like I already said, he was familiar with the overall material, so there wasn't anything that we would ask him that he would say, well, I don't know what that is. He would know it. If he didn't know it well enough, he'd come back and explain to us.
One of his strengths, like I said, was his enthusiasm and his energy.
As far as strengths, I would say just his overall content mastery and being able to relate it to where I could understand it.
His strengths, he was very well organized, and like I said before, very thorough, meticulous, and passionate. His energy came across really well, so we were more inclined to participate in the activities.
His strengths are very passionate about science, medicine, very passionate about helping others. Great instructor, great people skills, as I mentioned before, he knew his material, very intelligent. He's just overall, a great guy and a great professor.
He's great at explaining. Whenever you ask a question, he kind of lets you say it out or explain it first, and then he kind of adds on his concrete explanation. So you can really tell he knows the material, and he's really good at what he does.
Okay, well, he has a lot of strengths. His first strength is that he makes chemistry very simple, being that he taught AP chemistry. So a lot of concepts were very easy to understand.
He had very well organized lesson plans and very well organized like PowerPoints, structured layouts, and he had a pretty good answer or a reference to the answer for many of the questions that we had in regards to the content.
Some of Sam's strengths include keeping the course really engaged throughout the whole week.
His tips and strategies I feel like will help me on the passages. So I also know what I need to practice, especially when it comes to chemistry and biochem stuff.
It was a rigorous 1 week breakdown of an entire subject, in this case G-Chem, in a week, and it was rigorous but helpful.
There's a lot of information, but it's good to refamiliarize yourself with concepts and subjects. So when you're actually using an exam book to study or maybe reviewing notes, it's a good refresher, and so you can remember those.
This boot camp was very informative, very comprehensive of general chemistry, and it's definitely worth it. It was fun doing these activities, getting to learn each other more. The brotherhood and sisterhood is very great here. This great here at the AEC.
I would say that this experience was very helpful in exposing areas that I'm still weak in from like the coursework that we've taken over the past couple of years, like things that I wasn't all that solid on are starting to be like really exposed, and just starting to bring everything together. It seems like what I'm still not solid on and what I am good at is it's all coming together on like this one test. So it was really good just kind of see what I need to work on, even trying to understand the new materials. So it was good. I definitely say it's worth the experience.
I would describe this bootcamp course as very extensive and intense because we covered a lot of material in a short amount of time. But everything we covered pretty much is preparing us for the MCAT. So I would definitely recommend that course to a friend.
I would describe this boot camp to a friend as not being child's play. So like, don't come in here just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna chill, or I know what I'm talking about completely, and I don't need to like study and anything like that, because I found myself having to do that a lot.
I describe it as intense, but I'd highly recommend it. It's very beneficial. It'll help them a lot.
It was very intense. When I would get home, I would kind of just crash. But it helped with identifying specifically what you need to know and kind of really knowing how serious this information is. It's a lot of information, but you don't really realize that until you're in a course or until you're reading an MCAT prep book.
It would behoove you to take this. It's vital. It's essential that you take this boot camp.
Okay.
All right, that's real.
It's very intense, dense with the material, but fun.
I would describe it as a very fast-paced course. A lot of content to go over, but thorough enough to the point where you can get the content and you most likely see improvements.
And I would say it was very intensive, very informative, very instructional, and there's a lot of structure, and it's going to help me pass the MCAT and matriculate to medical school.
It's definitely going to take a lot of time out of you, but it's definitely fair.
Hard but helpful.
Chemistry was life.
It's helpful, it was structured, and it was informative.
Intense, it was extensive, and it was pretty great because we covered a lot under a short amount of time.
It's helpful. It was interesting because of the interactive activities, and then it was energetic. We weren't sitting down the entire time like I thought we would be.
I would say it was an eye-opening experience. I feel like those are the best 3 words. But is very, very beneficial. Those 3 words too.
Okay.
There's a lot of 3 words. Interactive, intense, and can't think of another I word, so helpful.
3 words, a great decision. Thank
All
you.
right.
Compact, fun, and very like fast paced.
Thorough, fast-paced, and informative.
Exciting, instructive, and insightful.
Oh,